this, and this is wrong with it. Give me my money back, please. Hello, welcome back to Classics with a Quirk, where I talk about luxury items and brands with a touch of silliness. If this is the kind of content you find interesting, please do like this video and subscribe for more of it. Thank you. An item that I purchased that was an immediate no once I unboxed it. This is a tag that was started by Caleb Snell, and he did tag me in it, so thank you, Caleb. I will link his video down below for you. This is a fun one, I think. A little bit maybe controversial perhaps, but a fun one because I'm going to be talking about an item that I did purchase and got and was excited about, and then I unboxed it and I was just like, that's a no from me. That's an immediate no from me. And this item it's not because I didn't like the item. I was actually very excited to get the item, and it wasn't because I didn't like the item once I unboxed it, but let me just get into it because it is a bit of a story. So first things first, what is this thing I'm talking about? It was a Chanel bag. It was a vintage Chanel bag in this beautiful chevron caviar that I had been after hunting down for like years. I really like Chanel's chevron. I've always been a fan of chevron quilting, and I've been wanting a vintage chevron bag. And I prefer vintage Chanel lambskin, but that is not what we're talking about today. It was this beautiful vintage Chanel bag in caviar, and I found it on the RealReal. Now, we have heard many a story about the RealReal, and many of them are horror stories. I've had my own problems with the RealReal before. They sold me a fake card holder from YSL a while back. But I've also had some very surprising wins, especially recently. I bought an Hermes bag from the RealReal, and it ended up being not what I expected it to be necessarily, but a very much big win just the same. I will link that unboxing video for you because it is a fun one. We discovered together what I ended up actually purchasing, so if you want to check that out, please do so. It is very silly and very fun. Going back to this story though, I purchased from the RealReal. I hadn't had a lot of experience with buying from the RealReal before, and this one was not great. So I looked at the pictures. The RealReal is terrible with pictures. They only have like 3 or 4 usually, and bags are final sales. So you get 4 pictures of a bag that you're not allowed to return, which is not great, especially if you're buying something very expensive like a Chanel bag. But I'd been after this bag for a really long time, and I saw it. It looked beautiful. The caviar looked in good shape, so I purchased it and was really excited about it, and I got it and I unboxed it, and this was at the very, very beginning of my YouTube channel, like the very start of it. So I filmed the unboxing, which was great because I needed the unboxing later to return the bag. It's not a good unboxing, and there's a reason why it never made it to my channel. I didn't feel like sharing it. I was kind of not a great unboxing video, but I will put some footage of the unboxing in here for you somewhere, I'm sure, just to kind of show you what the bag looked like, because I did take a lot of pictures and videos of the bag itself. What was wrong with the bag? Well, the bag was listed on the RealReal in very good condition with authenticity card, and when I unboxed the bag, one of the first things I looked for, I didn't even really look at the bag details, but I checked the serial number because I love dating my vintage bags. I love seeing what series they're from. I love getting an idea of what year they're from, and so I was really excited about that. And the first thing I noticed about the bag was that the serial number was illegible. It was almost gone. It was scratched off and illegible and not great, which had not been disclosed in the listing, which I was not pleased to discover, because not only because I wanted to date my bag, but not to take it out to dinner. I would have taken it out to dinner, but because I wanted to find out the year my bag was created, but because a bag without a serial number is technically less valued than the bag with one. And so having the serial number illegible for what I paid, that was not a great feeling or experience. I believe I paid, and this was in 2020, I believe I paid something like $3,800 or $39, and for 2020 prices that was a little bit high for vintage Chanel, because vintage Chanel was just getting really popular in 2020, 2021, so I was overpaying a little bit from what I could find on other markets. But this was especially caviar was a little bit more sought after. It still is. Vintage caviar is you know, more coveted. So I was paying for the caviar as opposed to like a lambskin piece. So I was paying for that, but I was also paying for the accessories and the serial number. So with the serial number being illegible, that should have dropped the value of the bag, and it didn't. It was priced for a bag with a serial number. It was also priced for a bag with an authenticity card, which it also did not come with. I like turned the package upside down, I emptied all the pockets and nothing. So was equally not happy about that. And so I was already like not pleased with the lack of the serial card and the illegible serial number. And then I started actually like looking at the bag too, and looking at the bag, especially close up, especially in sunlight, there were very good condition. I would not say that was an accurate description. The bag had a lot of wear. The caviar was kind of like dull and dry, which, you know, you can condition caviar. I wasn't super like upset about that, but the chains were super, super tarnished. Like the gold was completely rubbed off almost. And I took a picture of it compared to one of my other vintage Chanel chains, where you can see that the gold chain is so much more bright and vibrant on my other bag, whereas this bag, it was basically silver, which I didn't love. You can get chains replated at third-party services. I don't believe that Chanel does it, or they might now, but they replace the hardware, they don't replate the hardware. So it's I don't know about vintage Chanel repair. I just know about modern day Chanel repair because I had my own experience with that. But you can get chain replated, but that's a whole different like process and thing and expense. And so I wasn't happy about the chain, because one of the nice things about vintage Chanel is like the beautiful rich gold vibrancy of their hardware. And so the fact that this bag didn't have that was a big disappointment. Also, the bag had a lot of wear on the caviar itself. The flap of the bag, the very pointed corner, had like caviar missing and rubbed off. It was pretty worn on that part of the bag. And that makes sense because that is the part that is always being like opened and closed and opened and closed and rubbed, if that's how you open your bag. So that's also the part of the bag that's most likely to get like nicked and dinged by your nails or anything like that. So it is something that is typical to happen in terms of wear, but it also wasn't disclosed. And if I had known about the wear and also the illegible serial number and also the chains and also the missing authenticity card, I wouldn't have paid the price that I did, because all those things decrease the value of the bag. Now, not only that, not only was the flap worn, and there were missing caviar flecks on the bottom of the bag and in the corners as well, but there was actually like a tear in the leather in the flap. In the back of the flap, I'll show you a picture because I took documented evidence of it because I had to fight the real. The bag was torn. Like there was a problem with the integrity of the structure and of the make of the bag. It was ripped. The leather was ripped, and that is a very difficult repair if it can be repaired at all. Once you have cracking in leather, it's very difficult to save that because it will continue to crack if it's not sealed properly, which is also an additional thing and expense, especially if you're sending it out to a third party. And like also not disclosed, there were no pictures with that in it. Like there were 4 pictures of the front, the back, the inside, and like the bottom. So it wasn't disclosed in any way, and I would not call a bag in that shape very good condition. So the thing is, like, it wasn't an immediate no. It should have been. It should have been like, absolutely not. This bag like has all these flaws and it's not coming with this accessories and I paid this much money for it. Like, no, I'm going to return it immediately. But I actually debated it for a little bit because it was a bag that I'd been wanting for so long and in caviar. And I thought about it, like, maybe should I keep it? Will I find it again? What should I do? Should I it's technically not returnable. It's final sale. Should I fight the real? I mean, I will always fight for justice. Like, that is a thing about me. I will fight for justice forever. I have a really funny story about fighting for justice for a clothing brand once. Like, it's not a luxury clothing brand, but it was like an endeavor. So let me know if you want to see a video about that. If you want to just hear a funny story, like storytelling is fun for me. So if you want to hear that, like, let me know. But I debated it. I debated, like, the bag was an immediate no, but returning it was like what should I do? But ultimately, I sat down and I told myself, like, wait a second, what are you doing? Like, why are you debating this? That's so silly. You paid so much money for this bag that was supposed to be in very good condition with beautiful hardware and no flaws and like the serial card and the serial number, and like, what are you doing? Why are you even debating this? Just return the thing, like, fight them, go forth. So I did. Another fun detail about this bag, which it wasn't a fault of the bag, but I found an open safety pin in the back pocket. Feel like it's full of residue, and there is garbage inside of it. Awesome. That's great. That's good. Oh my gosh. This is a safety pin. This is a really gross open safety pin in the back pocket of a vintage Chanel bag. That, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Which, but not to, besides a hazard to the bag, like that could have poked holes in the leather. That was a hazard to me. Like I put my hand into it and I was like, that's something pokey and sharp. Oh, it's an open safety pin. Great, thanks The Real. They didn't check if there was things in the, no, I guess not. So not a great experience overall with that purchase, open safety pin. Like it's wild. I can't get over that. It's been like 3 years and I can't get over that. But anyway, I emailed The Real and I'm like, excuse me, hello. You sold me this bag, it's final sale. However, this, and this is wrong with it. Give me my money back, please. And I got a reply from customer service fairly quickly, which, I will give them that. I think that they get enough people having problems with their listings, knowing that their listings have problems with them, that they're not really, they don't really fight you that much. I've returned several final sale things to The Real before, and they've never given me an issue. And I think that might just be like kind of their policy. Like it says final sale, but if the customer is mad for a valid reason because we didn't send something in the listing, like, okay, fine, we guess we'll return it. Or we'll accept the return anyway. So I sent them the email. I sent back the bag. They refunded my money. I did have to fight them about the shipping fee though, because they're like, we take the shipping charge off of your return. I'm like, no, I'm returning it not because I changed my mind. I'm returning it because you were wrong about a lot of stuff. So they ended up returning the shipping fee on credit on my account first, and then I was like, excuse me, no, give me back all of my money, please, thank you. And then they did. They returned the shipping fee to my credit card, but that was just like an extra email that I had to send. So yeah, that is my story. That is my tale of an immediate no, sort of, from me. The bag was a no kind of from the beginning, especially once I observed the details of it. But there was a little bit of like, should I try to send it back? And you know what? In the end, I have not found that bag again in Caviar, in the Chevron, for a price that I was up for paying at that time. But I will say that getting that bag, I love it. It's beautiful. I want it again, but I do want it in lambskin. I really want that bag in a beautiful plush lambskin, and I am willing to wait. I've seen it a couple times in the pre-loved market, but it's always been like, I've already bought something else around the same time, so I don't want to overextend myself. So it's still not a not right now purchase. It might be a purchase in the future. I hope it's a purchase in the future, but I'm glad that I had the experience, not because it was like a bad experience, but I think that I'm glad that I will, going forward, eventually get it in lambskin as opposed to Caviar. I think I'll be like happier with that. So ultimately it worked out, and I guess I have no real complaints apart from the Real's entire process and how they listed the bag and all of that thing. But you know what? It worked out in my favor. Once they listed something and I got something else, that was that Hermes video. I will again link it for you because that was also a wild tale, but it worked in my favor. I got one over on them this time. So good job, me. Thank you again to Kayla for making this tag and for tagging me. There are a few creators that I'm going to be tagging down below. I'd love to hear your stories. If you have any that you'd like to share about like immediate no's or even like heated debates with yourself before you ended up actually returning the thing. So if you are interested in doing that video, please do so and tag me in it. So let me know so I can watch it and also see your stories. If you've had an immediate no story, I'd love to hear it in the comments down below as well. Please share. I'd love to talk about your experiences too, especially if it was like something that you were really looking forward to getting and then you got it and you're like, actually not that thing, thank you very much. If you like this video, please give it a like. It super duper helps the algorithm, and subscribe for more content that helps the algorithm even more. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.